Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. Today, I'm going to give you my long-term review slash overview of the EMP EDC Nymble T2. But first, I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to all the channel members. Thank you all so much. I want to invite you guys, if you're over on Instagram, to come give me a follow over there. Same handle is here at jevans underscore knife addict underscore life. And just invite you guys, if you like EDC content and like what you see, please hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification icon. It'll notify you when I release new content, and it'll really help the channel. So today, I want to talk about my most recent EMP EDC knife. So going back in time, I've got a history with EMP EDC, starting back with the first Nymble. When it was first released, right when COVID started, there was a lot of well-deserved hype around that knife. I bought into it and loved it. I've got the knife still. It's one of my favorite knives. Shortly thereafter, the Thick Boy was released. I picked that knife up, absolutely fell in love with it. Passed on a a Tonto version V1, and then the Nymble X came out, and I jumped all over it. For some reason, then I missed out on the Relative. I kind of snoozed on it. I missed the drop or the pre-order on the Ronin. The timing didn't work out. But going to Blade Show in 2023, I was able to kind of reconnect with those knives and reconnect with the brand. Long story short, I got to actually handle and check out the Nymble T or the Tonto. And I was blown away, guys. At first, when I saw that it came out, I thought it was just going to be a basic mimic of my original Nymble. That was my thoughts. I didn't need two Nymbles, even though one was a Tonto and one was a drop point. But upon closer inspection and looking at the knife, looking at the colorways, looking at this beautifully milled honeycomb handle, this very clean, nightmarish black finish with a black pocket clip, and then these nice gold accents just blew me away. And then the actual action on the knife is just to die for. It's one of those actions like the Nymble. It has multiple deployments. You've got a traditional flicker. You've got a front flipper. And you've got a deployment hole, whether you want to thumb flick it or whether you want to finger flick it. Frame lock that's just done masterfully. When you look at the blade, this blade is in, if I'm not mistaken, Elmax. This is an Elmax version. And you'll notice that it has a compound grind where you've got this deep hollow grind here in the center. And it's very, very slicey, guys. Let me find something to quickly cut for you. Hold on, the cat's coming. Tippy. No, ma'am. I'm sorry, guys. All right. That's that back hollow grind. And then you've got that front flat that's just very pokey, very stabby, very slicey in its own right. Does exactly what a Tonto is supposed to do. It's got a very piercing, thick, built-up tip. Wonderful jimping for your thumb, whether you hold this in your back grip, which I don't, or if you choke up on it and hold it in what I consider to be a cutting grip, it works very well. Hello, Tippy. I apologize, guys. She thinks because the time that we're filming this is quite early in the morning that she should be getting the attention, but she's going to move again because we're going to give her some food. And now, maybe that'll buy us just a little bit of time to finish this up. So, where were we? It cuts good. it is a small or medium-sized knife, right? So let's do a couple of quick size comparisons for some knives that you guys might be familiar with, starting with the Cold Steel 4-Max, and it is much, much smaller than the 4-Max. Let's look at it next to the Civivi Baby Banter, and it is a good bit bigger than the Civivi Baby Banter, but closer in size than it is to the 4-Max. So let's take a look next to a Benchmade Bug Out. And guys, it is right under maybe an eighth of an inch smaller than the Benchmade Bug Out in length, which puts it a good bit smaller, probably an inch and a half shorter than the PM2, but a very small, no pun intended, nimble little knife. So if I compare this to a couple of other EMP EDCs, this is the original OG Nimble, and they are the same size in terms of length. They're the same width. The body's very similar, except you've got a totally different milling pattern. You've got a satin, brush satin finish on the blade here, and you've got a stonewash on the blade there. You've also got different materials, but I just think the knives complement each other wonderfully. Then the knife I got right before this that I picked up after Blade Show, where I picked up a relative, is another Tonto, and it's the Ronin. And what I love about these two knives is they definitely take up different places in my collection. They're totally different knives, and I don't look at them as competing for the same space. Do I love the Ronin? Absolutely. Do I love it as much? Probably do. But do I feel like I'm duplicating my efforts? No, I do not. And then I'm going to reach into my pocket because today I carried my Thick Boy version 1, which is a wonderful knife, which I found out is exactly the same length as the Nymble T. The Thick Boy is a one deployment kind of method knife, and it's either the thumb hole or the middle finger hole. But guys, I love this knife. I hadn't carried it in a long time, put it in my pocket today, and have just been blown away by it. So when it comes to EMP EDC and pretty much everything they make, I am a fan. I'm an objective fan because my fandom comes from a knife that's designed very, very well. The manufacturing is done as well as any, I'll put it up against any manufacturing that I see. And I think that's because A, the designs are well and the process is managed and there's good communication. But guys, the Nymble T's, when I'm recording this video, are still available at EMP EDC Design's website. I will put a link in the description to where they are, and you guys can take a look at them if you might be interested. And they are all Javon approved, and I have no affiliation with EMP EDC. I don't have an affiliate link. I'm just putting it in there because that's where I got it, and they dropped last Saturday, and I have been stoked since it came in. So it's 7 inches long with the blade inch of right over 3 inches, just barely over 3 inches. But if we look at that cutting edge, it's going to come up to 2.5 inches. So you've got 2.5 inches cutting edge and right over 3 inch on the blade. And then the handle is going to come in at 4 inches. The dimensions I look at are the back dimension, which is 3.25, where I don't hold the knife, but maybe if I was saving my Slurpee, that's the grip I'd want, and that's right at 3.25. The grip that I prefer is right up here where the choil is, and that's right under 4.5. I feel very confident and comfortable in that choil, and it works very, very well. So that is pretty much the NYMBLE T2 in a nutshell dimension wise. We can look at our blade stock and see what we're looking with. I'm not good at getting behind the edge measurements, guys, but our blade stock's 0.145, 1.14, we'll just say 0.1435. And if I try to get behind the edge, I try to get right to where the sharpening stops, and that usually is not an accurate reading. This says 0.0240, but I don't know if that's accurate or not. I'm going to guess this body's going to come in right around 1/2 of an inch. 0.4820 in terms of width. But guys, it feels wonderful in my hand. Every grip feels good. There's absolutely the smoothest lock transition from either locking it up, and it locks up at about 25-30%. Absolutely no stick. Smooth as it can be, both opening and closing. And just a knife that I am very, very, very happy that I went ahead and took a chance on and grabbed it. Because I wasn't sure, like I said, even though I'd seen it at Blade Show and fell in love with it again, I have to be careful with the knives that I buy. And this is one that was definitely worthy of coming into my collection. So 3.75 ounces for the NYMBLE T2. A knife by EMP EDC, who is, here comes Tippy again. I'll let her kind of hang while we finish up. But guys, this is a great knife. I could recommend it very, very highly. The Tonto's understated, kind of reminds me of a Chavez Tonto where, you know, it's kind of a little bit drop pointy too. But that is the NYMBLE T, guys. Please, if you would, look out for that guy or gal to your left. Look out for that guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Tippy does too. Peace.